Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Adam. This is Highly Articulated, and we are live. My camera has shifted since I had it on 5 minutes ago. There we go. That's better. Unless you guys want like rate like this. Does this sound and look better? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I do. And and I'm not going to do it going forward. Nothing is going to change going forward. That's what I sort of decided yesterday when I woke up and saw that my subscriber count had ticked to 1,000. It's still literally right at 1,000, which is good and bad. It's good because you don't want it to go below, but it's bad because it makes me anxious. Because if you go below, then it resets everything. Anyways, ultimately, I don't care about that. But it is a milestone. It is, psychologically, kind of it's kind of a big deal, I guess. But not really. It doesn't really change anything. Like I said, I'm still going to do the videos the way that I do them. I'm still going to do them the way that I want to, rather than the way that I should. I'm I'm not going to change, because of an algorithm, or I'm not going to change because another YouTube video person is like, this is the best way to get more subs or more likes or more blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't know whether those work or not, because I'm never going to be bothered to try them. I'm going to do thumbnails the way that I like, because I enjoy doing them the way that I do them. I'm going to do videos the way that I like, because I enjoy doing them. And if I didn't, I wouldn't. This isn't a job. This isn't a career path. I'm not, I'm not aspiring to anything. So that's why sort of 1,000 is incredibly, incredibly humbling in a lot of ways. To think that there's that many people that care enough to not only end up on the channel, but to take the time to actually click the button and sort of commit to getting my videos, at least the thumbnails, pop up in their feed. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It was never, like I said, never something I aspired to, but here we are, and I'm very thankful and certainly not complaining. Now, for anybody that has a YouTube channel, for anybody that sort of understands how YouTube works, you'll know all this stuff already. But for anybody that doesn't, or anybody that's sort of never sort of thought about this part of it, when you hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, your sort of opportunities for potentially earning a little bit of money open up a little bit more. You get some ad revenue, I think. I don't really know. But and then I don't know. I think that's about it. And I mean, I'm like, I stand to make literally cents from this. Um, the big thing, there's sort of two components to sort of becoming, you know, a YouTube channel that can earn money. One of them is 1,000 subscribers. The other one is watch hours. And the irony is that after the end of the first Space Zombies from Mars Kickstarter, I more or less took off 4 months. Like, I kind of did a couple videos here and there, but I was not doing content to the level. I wasn't doing regular Sunday videos. I wasn't doing the regular Wednesdays. I wasn't doing unboxing videos nearly as much. And so my watch hours just absolutely tanked. I was well over the 4,000 up until that point, and then when you don't do anything for 3 or 4 months, your watch hours tank because it's over a 365-day period. So I I have 1,000 subscribers now, but I do have to get my watch hours back up. So I just, as long as I kind of continue the way I've been, it'll be fine. I'll get my watch hours back up. But anyway, that's just the, inside baseball stuff of how to become a millionaire making YouTube videos. You could literally make dollars. It's changed, man. Like, it's changed. Like, I know folks who used to make money on YouTube just by having videos on YouTube. But now it's the YouTube, for better or worse, and I genuinely don't care. But the people that are sort of trying to make money at this are constantly frustrated by YouTube kind of moving the goalposts, so to speak. Changing what defines how you make money and sort of changing how your videos get viewed and all that kind of stuff. And they have their own ways to sort of promote videos internally. So that sometimes it's like no matter what a content creator does, which I certainly don't consider myself a content creator. So let's be clear about that. I'm never like, okay, I got to create some content. But for content creators who are sort of trying to make some money off of this, my understanding is that it's incredibly frustrating because, no matter what you do, you can sort of please all the algorithms, and then they change the algorithms, and then you're sort of back at square one. But anyway, I digress. I've been talking for 8 minutes about nothing that anybody cares about. Strap yourselves in. There's about 50 minutes more of stuff that nobody else cares about. Let's take a look at the chat. I take a look at the chat because that's where we're at. 1,000 subscribers. It's people like you guys in the chat. Brick something says congrats on the 1,000. Got to run to the mission till showtime later, so I'll catch the replay. Huge shout out to Brick. Brick and I kind of started our YouTube adventures around the same time, and have been very closely linked ever since, to the point where we share a StreamYard account. He's going to be on later, and then he's going to be on with Yimbo. So your Sunday is your Sunday trajectory is like even streamlined this Sunday. Between these different channels. Gabrielle says congrats on 1,000. Thank you so much. JMax77, congratulations. Been a lot of fun. I've had fun, and so if you guys are having fun too, that's a bonus because it's all about me. Spaded One McDysentery says congratulations. Mr. Ryan Clark says congratulations. Ray Paz says you did it. 1,000. Congrats on your road to 1 million. I will never get to 1 million, and that's okay. That's okay. That's the thing. I'm okay with it. To me, honestly, the ultimate goal, like the highest peak that I've aspired to doing this, having this channel, is 1,000. I mean, everything beyond this is like ridiculous to me. Brian Carr is here, says congratulations. Larry Geeky World says congratulations. I should probably just stop saying that. People say it's like, yeah, okay. Jeffrey MM is here. I feel like your handle name was different, but now I can't remember what it was. Mod Extra GC says congrats. If you guys aren't following his channel, you should check it out, because I think his channel and my channel have, you know, some similarities in terms of, you know, if you like this, if you like what's going on, you know, in terms of how I do things, I think you'd like his channel as well. So if you haven't before, check his stuff out. Let's see the extreme close up. Yeah, Wayne's World style. Yeah, Ray Pass says forget. I think the F stands for forget. Forget the algorithm. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Justin Mohan, this is very generous. Is congratulations. I'm surprised you don't have more subscribers. Don't let fame get to you. I think, you know, honestly, there's been moments where I've been like, I could lean into this, and then I sort of talk to people that have sort of more subscribers or whatever, that are doing so much more work than I do, and I just think to myself, I don't want to do that. I can't be bothered. Brian Briggs says simply clicking a button is my favorite type of effort. Yeah, exactly. That's you know, and it's that easy. That's the other thing. Like I say this all the time. You know, go to somebody else's channel that, you know, if you like their video, just subscribe to their channel, because it could be a small channel that's sort of, you know, I think sometimes some of these small channels get really discouraged because, you know, they don't see the numbers. And the thing is, if you're watching YouTube, it doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the subscribe button. It genuinely, um, you know, watch 5 minutes of somebody's videos, even if you don't necessarily care for the other videos. You know, if it's a video for a particular figure that you like, you know, watch that video, hit the like button. If you can comment, even better, you know, for the sake of the algorithms. But like, my point being, if you're watching YouTube, you know, it costs you nothing to sort of support what you're watching, unless you pay for premium. But that's another thing. So, you know, like I said, and I'm not talking about my stuff, I'm talking about in general. You know, if you're watching a video and you don't hate it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, because it doesn't, I mean, the algorithm sucks anyway. It's gonna, you know, the YouTube algorithm is gonna show you a ton of videos that you don't even want to watch. So you may as well be a little bit closer to what you want to watch by subscribing to more stuff. You know what I mean? That's my 2 cents. Brian Brink with a $4.99 super chat, which is very generous. As I say, never expected, always appreciated. Saying first, yes, that is the first super chat. Well, you guys know I don't. Super chats are weird, man. Studio Henge is here. Studio Henge says, I made 2,500 on one minorly viral video a decade ago. Then they changed the rules and I've never made a cent since. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's crazy that, like, there's people that literally got rich off of YouTube and they're not even on YouTube anymore. And then they were like, hold on, we can't keep paying the same people. So yeah, there's people that have millions of views on YouTube that don't make any money off of it. And there's people that have millions of views that make a boatload of money off of it too. That's and you know, it's all good. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. Everybody should do their thing and enjoy what they're doing. I mean, if it's your job, you know, if YouTube's your job, hopefully you enjoy doing it because it's fun. And I mean, even the big guys, even the like huge, man, I'm getting fat. I gotta exercise more. You know, even the big channels, you know, they can be fun. You know, they don't have to be crappy. Some of them are. But like I said, watch what you like what you watch. You know, subscribe to what you watch, and you know, just have fun. Josh Brown gifted 10 memberships. That is awesome. I don't think on my end I get to see who they got gifted to. Congrats to everybody that got gifted a membership. That's awesome. Thank you, Josh. I really, really do appreciate that. Um, Saf is here. Jeff Morris is here. Who else? Um, um, Josh Brown. I know that these come up as like emojis or whatever, but they don't come up in StreamYard that way because that's a YouTube thing. So I always forget with the Peter Klein says we knew him when. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna get anywhere beyond where I am now, but for some of those channels, yeah, it's like you engage, and then there's community there as well, right? Like, and that's the other thing is like a lot of these channels have really strong communities. I will be the first to admit I do not do a very good job of sort of fostering any sort of highly articulated community, because I think a lot of other folks do a very good job of that already, um, whether it be in a Facebook group or a Discord or what have you. I'll be honest, I just don't have the time for that stuff or the bandwidth. I'm terrible at that stuff. So you get what you get and you don't make a fuss. That'll be the motto for my channel going forward, I think. Justin said the small channels are the best because you can interact with the creator in the comment section and it's fun to see a channel grow. Yeah, that's totally true. I very rarely, when it's, when you're watching a video and there's like 500 people watching and 500 people commenting, you sort of lose the intimacy there. And I genuinely just don't comment. And a lot of those videos now, like a lot of channels that I really, really love, I'll just watch the replay because I know that it'll be no different for me if I'm not commenting to just watch it on a replay than to sit and interact and participate in the comments. So that's a very, very good point. Mr. Ryan Clark says this is part of why I've never started a channel. I've had to try and create regular content before and didn't care for the pressure. Yeah, and that's it's certainly, I kind of started with an intention of just kind of documenting toys and sort of talking about stuff that I loved, and I've still been doing that. And the worst part is that I don't get to unbox everything, that I just don't have the time to sort of do the videos and sort of talk about everything and edit everything properly. And like, I'll be completely honest, my stuff is very stale. Like, it's very I'm not my editing's not getting better. I'm not adding more effects. I would love to do an intro video at some point. I think I've been saying that for like a year and a half. And an outro video. I've been saying that for probably as long. But it is what it is. The amount of time that I have, I put into what I can. And so there's weeks where I have a little more time and I put out more videos, and there's weeks where I have no time and it's radio silence from me. So that's, if I'm not putting out any videos, it's because I'm just busy. And if I'm putting out lots of videos, it means I have a little bit more free time. That's literally about the best, barometer for how busy I am that week, is how many videos I'm putting out. And GI Jetman with the $1.99 super chat says, congratulations on 1,000 subs. Thank you kindly, GI Jetman. Very much appreciated. Justin Mohan, doing toy reviews are always something that will never get old, but news videos do. I think they both, kind of do. I mean, the news ones are tough. I think people will always, if the toys are out there, I do agree that a toy review, I think, lasts a little bit longer. It has a little bit more staying power, but it does, my stuff is not a good example because I'm not trying to rush to get content out. I'm trying to just do a video of a figure that I got. and not really worrying about being the first video, being the best video. Um, I get annoyed at myself when my videos are too long. To me, like 10 to 15 minutes is sort of what I'm shooting for. The last one that I did was the Senior Blanco, and I think that one's like half an hour long. It's like so long, which is so boring and terrible. Because I think people just lose, they're kind of like, yeah, yeah, great. Just like give me the Coles notes on this. But I'll be perfectly honest, that came with so much stuff. And I think Mezco, I think when I unbox Mezco figures, they're gonna be longer videos because it's just so much stuff. Um, but yeah, the news ones and these too, right? Like when I'm just sort of talking about random stuff, these get a little bit old. Now when I do videos, we're not doing a Q&A, but I mean anything that sort of leads to me talking about the channel, I'm gonna go on a tangent on if you'll allow it. Um, there are videos that we do like Monkey Business is a good example. I get way more views on those than I get on these, because there's not a lot of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom news out there. There's not a lot of people sort of covering that, and so if you want that news, those videos are the best place to get it. That's I think objectively true, for a number of reasons. It's not because of me. It's not because of how I present it or anything like that. It's because this is where you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it from me. No one else is putting it out there. Um, so those news videos do have a little bit more staying power. But yeah, the reviews, I'll be honest, I watched a review for the Mezco Mosquatch this morning, which I think came out like 2 years ago because I want one, and I want to just make sure that I want one before I, go out there and buy one. Gatie's Toys says congratulations, Muffin. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys, but Jeffrey says we enjoy hanging out with like-minded individuals. Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about my toys, and I'm happy to talk about what you guys are interested in as well, right? So, Larry's Geeky World. I always enjoy interacting with my audience. Yeah, it's if I was just sitting here in a vacuum, I probably wouldn't do it. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's I would be bored. These videos would be 5 minutes long, and I'd go, here's a thing that I like. Um, here's another thing that I like. Bye. maybe, maybe I should do videos like that. Maybe I should just do like total deadpan 5-minute videos that are just awful. Maybe that's a niche that hasn't been looked into yet. Maybe I should be looking into that. I feel like I would watch that because that's my sense of humor. I don't know that anybody else would watch that. But anyway, Justin Mohan says, now that you're a big shot, how long will it take for you to sell out? Man, I sold out ages ago. You have no idea. I'm the biggest sellout there is. No, I never is the answer. I this is so I don't know. This is sort of maybe a reflection of who I am, and just like I'm normally like this. There's an aspect of this that is a caricature. I kind of turn it up a little bit when I'm doing videos, and anybody that knows me when I'm not doing videos will agree to that. But this is me 11 out of 10. Most of the time, I'm kind of like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, somewhere in that range of this, right? But there is a group chat of other people that have YouTube videos in which my nickname in the chat is the Angry Canadian. So and the reflection on me in that nickname is that I don't really put up with bullshit. I don't so I don't think I'll ever sell out. But the flip side of that is that I don't think there's really I think people do sell out, but I think a lot of people call people sellouts that aren't. Um, because I think sometimes people are just genuinely a particular way and sort of do a particular thing, and then when that thing catches on, or when they catch on, or when they get sort of the notoriety that they deserve, people kind of call them a sellout. It's like, well, if you you know, if your integrity is intact and you're making money, I think you're good. I think you're good to go. Now, if I made a boatload of money, would I still be like this? Probably not. I'd probably be a jerk. Jessica said you should have yourself some cake or beer, or buy yourself something small to celebrate. I am having beer. What do you think? Do you think this is apple juice every Sunday? It's Sunday. Um, it's actually beer with soju. It's really, really good. John from the Collecting Brothers, I can only assume, since his co-host is AI, says, congratulations, Adam, and thank you, Josh Brown, for the gifted sub. Okay, so Collecting Brothers was gifted a sub by Josh Brown. We know one of the 10. That's good. We're getting somewhere. White Mike Vegeta says, congratulations. Red 5, can't stay. I want to congratulate you. When's that room tour happening? Man. So remember I was talking about I don't have time? I've made it sort of my mission to get that room tour edited and out, or just not edited, just put it out and be done with it. Because again, I've been saying it's going to be done for like 2 weeks. Die Hard 3.75 says congrats on 1,000. I say congrats to you, Die Hard 3.75, on all the new 3.75 stuff that's coming out. 118 seems to be making a big push and a bit of a resurgence, whether it's O ring or modern articulation. I think fans of 3.75 kind of 4-inch scale are really sort of having a heyday right now. Justin says it's nice that you're Canadian. Not a lot of Canadian toy tubers. Thank you. You'll have to thank my parents for that, I guess. They could have moved at some point, but they didn't. Gady's Toys, something to be said about just growing organically than begging for followers too. Yeah, and that was always something that was important to me. I never, I do have giveaways, and I do try to sort of promote certain things, but I don't do it in a way that I'm trying to I'm not trying. I don't do as many as I should or could or would if I was sort of pursuing those numbers. To me, I got no problem with giveaways. I'm gonna do 2 giveaways today, but when we get there, you'll be like, "What? These giveaways suck." But whatever, it is what it is. If you don't want to give away, or you don't want to win something in a giveaway, then don't enter. But I just, if that's your channel, right? Like if you just give a ton of shit away, stuff, I mean, if you give a ton of stuff away and that's sort of just what you want to do with your channel, that's awesome. I mean, there's some incredibly generous channels that give away stuff constantly, and it's awesome. It's just not my thing. I'd rather do it like this. I'd rather have 50 subscribers and still just do what I do than 100,000 subscribers and it be a job, and it be a burden, and it be something that I just don't enjoy, and I just reluctantly show up to it. White Mike Vegeta says, I came for the space zombies and I stayed for the personality and conversation. Well, the good news is there's going to be more space zombies coming up soon. So you'll be sort of repaid for your dedication, hopefully. Let's see. Okay, I think that's pretty much all the comments. Okay. I want to talk about some things. That's the reason that we're here. Ay. All right, let me share my screen here. As I said, I'm going to do a couple giveaways. They are the most lackluster giveaways that you've ever seen, um, because um, I didn't know what to give away. You'll notice this is just hashtag classified. It says comment classified for your chance to win. For this one, I'm gonna give away a classified figure. Which one? I don't know. It's gonna be winner's choice. I've got like a bin full of GI Joe classified figures that you can pick from. They're not great. I mean, but they are what they are. They are what I have. Towards the end of the show, I'm gonna do another giveaway. Any guesses what the other thing is that I might give away? Any guesses at all? What's that? An Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figure? That's great. That is a perfect guess. Of course, it's going to be an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figure, and it'll be winner's choice. So it'll be the same thing. Because sometimes I feel like people give away stuff and people win it, and they're just like, oh, I won, great, and then it's like, I don't need this or want this, and then they're just polite and they accept it and then it sits in a pile somewhere. I would do the Mad Marauder Sergeant Slaughter. I don't have that one. I didn't even want that figure, so I don't have that one. I could try to get one for somebody if they want it. I could probably get somebody to get one at Ross. Brian Brink says zombie prototypes. I don't have any that I can give away. I think at some point in the future that will be something. I genuinely was hoping that there was something that I could sort of figure out that was zombie related that I could give away. But the honest truth is I don't have anything that I can't sort of hold on to, at least for now, because everything that's a prototype we still need until we don't, if that makes sense. Mod Extra GC says, I'm in the UK. I'll not enter. The shipping will destroy your bank account. It's not too bad, to be honest. To ship from Canada to the UK is cheaper than to ship to most of Canada, actually. Shipping in Canada is weird. So feel free if you want to enter. I'd be happy to. Yeah. It says I'd enter and pay the shipping for a zombie prototype, though. That's fair. I think most people would. Brian says I was joking. I'm not. I mean, at some point, like I said, at some point I would love to sort of give stuff like that away. Yeah, and I think maybe once we get the Kickstarter going again, when we do videos, we'll do some like promos where we'll do draws for prizes, but not necessarily have the prize right away, because at that point we'll just be that much closer to sort of knowing timelines and stuff like that. But anyway, Brian Carson asks, will you be coming to ZoloCon? No, I will not. My first convention this year will be WonderCon in Anaheim, and then my next convention after that, I believe, is Joe Fest, Joe Lanta, Motu Fest, and Legions Con. I think that's it. Yeah, but I'll be at those ones. All right, let's talk about something else, shall we? Let's actually like talk about toys for a moment. Why not? Nippon Adventures. I talked about my sort of most anticipated Kickstarters / backer kit projects of the year, and their clock was set to actually launching this past week. Now they've reset their clock, and they now have it set for launching in 26 days, 1 hour, 18 minutes, and a few seconds. 26 days from today is Friday, February the 13th. So D13 launching on Friday the 13th of February. I believe their last project launched on a Friday and on the 13th of the month as well. So I think that's actually on brand for them. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure. So check them out. As I said, I'm super, super excited about Nippon Adventures. I'm very curious to see sort of what the overall sort of entire offering is. A couple other updates on a couple of the other Kickstarters that I was talking about. Cryptoids War for the Green Planet said spring. They've now changed that, and it now says March 2026. So that's coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned for more on Cryptoids. I'll be talking about Cryptoids, lots once they launch. They revealed this wrinkly little pig guy on social media the last few days. This is Squonk, and Squonk is a very wrinkly, sad, anxious pig that will be a companion that will go with one of the figures. I don't know which one, but stay tuned. This line is just very, very fun for me, and I want to see more, and I'm very, very excited about it. This is the weirdest, grossest little pig companion. I don't know. This is like so weird, but I'm totally into it. I'm totally like excited about Cryptoids. I talked about the Mythic Legions tabletop role-playing game. The Four Horsemen Studios are currently at a gaming convention, I believe, and I believe it's in Philadelphia. I believe it's a gaming convention, and I believe it's in Philadelphia because I don't know with any certainty because I'm not there. I'm not really that worried about it. But this is the elf thief, I believe. So this will be another figure that's available in the Kickstarter campaign. I love the elf figures, so this is definitely going to be one that I want. This game is kind of shaping up to be something that I'm super excited about and very much looking forward to. In other Four Horsemen news, they also have revealed their Highlander figure. This figure is just really, really cool. This is a New Jersey Con. What's it called? I don't know. There's a name for the convention that this is for. I just hope that this is available at other conventions. I'm not going to be at the New Jersey Toy Con or con at New Jersey Con. Jersey Con? I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Why can't I remember what it's called? Toy Con New Jersey. Thank you, Brian Brink. I know it had New Jersey in the name, and I knew it was like toys or something, but Toy Con New Jersey is where this is going to be. And Brian Carr, thank you, says Oaks, Pennsylvania, right outside Philadelphia is where the Four Horsemen are at a convention right now. All right. So if you are in or around Oaks, Pennsylvania, you're probably out of luck. I think it's probably ended for the weekend. If you are in the New Jersey area, and you're interested in this Highlander kind of barbarian figure, Toy Con New Jersey is the show where you're going to want to be able to pick this up. They are going to have a standard release after the fact, which won't come with the Magnus head. So the this head over here on the end won't be included in the standard release, but you will get the long bearded version as well as the red headed. I mean, that's the head you're going to have on this figure. Unless you buy multiples, then you might want to have those ones as well. Oh, hold on. What are you doing here? We'll get there. But yeah, this one looks cool. I hope it's at other conventions that I am able to attend because I'm not going to be at ToyCon New Jersey, and I don't know anybody that is either. So I can't even reach out to anybody. I'm sure I could if I really wanted to, but I'll be fine. I'll find this figure eventually. Peter Kleins, you're going to WonderCon again? Yes, I am. Very, very excited about it. You won't be at CarverCon? No, I won't be at CarverCon. Spiro Toys will have a table at CarverCon. But being that it is a one-day show, it just doesn't financially make sense to have me there. Um, it's all about the numbers. Um, Mod Extra GC, I took a look at the Nippon Adventures after your last video. They are cool. I'll be keeping a close eye out on those. Yeah, they're fun. I mean, it's different, right? Like I'm always interested by things that are different, that don't sort of fit the cookie cutter kind of mold. I mean, there's a lot of cookie cutter stuff that's really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but I do like stuff that's a little different that you don't see on a lot of shelves. And I personally have, a very strong sort of affinity to like Japanese culture and stuff like that. So I'm excited for those. Uh, White Mike Vegeta, do you ever plan to go to New York Toy Fair as a vendor? No. No, I mean, not as of now. But never say never. I mean, if Spiro does well enough and Space Zombies from Mars does well enough, um, and I keep saying so Spiro is the toy company. Technically, the nameless toy company is the other toy company. So if those two companies do well enough, I mean, maybe at some point, if we had product lines that would make sense at New York Toy Fair. But it's a massive undertaking, super expensive. It's a little bit like San Diego Comic-Con. I think those shows aren't quite the right fit for a lot of the smaller indie stuff. You have to kind of hit a threshold before it really makes sense, just because the dollars that you need to invest in those are very high. And while there's a huge amount of exposure by being there, you're kind of just swallowed up. When you go to San Diego Comic-Con and like Hasbro, Mattel, Lego, um, etc., are all there with these big, giant, elaborate booths with tons of exclusives and like giveaways and like all this kind of stuff, and you're kind of tucked in a corner. You're almost doing in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, you're almost doing yourself a disservice as a small company, because you're there to fill a table to make the whole event seem bigger. But the real draw is the big guys, and the big guys don't do the small shows. So the small shows are really the opportunity for the small brands to sort of get the word out. The only problem is you got to do a lot of small shows to sort of make to kind of make up the numbers that a big show sort of give you. But there's pros and cons to all of it. So um Brian Brink says, I almost went to that gaming convention today, but the weather messed up my plans this morning. That's a bummer. It's been unseasonably warm here, so it's been weird. But let's see. This could be any of my what's going on. There it is. This could be any of my relatives in Nova Scotia. Brian Carr says the Highlander figure is at ToyCon in April. Yeah, Ray Paz says Braveheart figures, cool. Mr. Ryan Clark says insert obligatory Braveheart joke. Yeah, it's Braveheart. Let's obviously it's Braveheart. Brian Carr will be at ToyCon. I might reach out to you, Brian. I'll message you later. And Laird's Geeky World says I'm gonna wait till the standard release for the Highland Warrior. Yeah, from my experience, when they do the standard release, it's typically much easier to get. So really, if you want the exclusivity of like the packaging and the extra parts, then the exclusive is great. But it sometimes comes with an added cost. In the case of Four Horsemen, typically the exclusives and the standard ones are about the same price, for the actual item. But you got to be at a con, so you got to pay for potentially a hotel room, transportation, food, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm in the minority where I think con exclusives should be a little hard to get, and you should have to pay more or do some work to get them. That's, unpopular opinion, but that's my opinion. So when Space Zombies from Mars does exclusives, you better believe that you're gonna have to pay attention if you want to get them. Mr. Ryan Clark says the cost of moving product back and forth alone to a big show like that would be crazy. It is, and to a small show, it's still pretty crazy. But the bigger the show, the more expensive the booth space is typically, and you would not believe the cost associated with like having a medium-sized booth at San Diego Comic-Con. It's bonkers. But yeah. Let's see. Josh Brown is just repeating what I've said for anybody anybody else that wasn't paying attention. There will be a version available on Store Horseman later, minus the head. Yes. Should have read the chat or listened to me talk. Josh, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to listen to me. It's all about me. Retro Toy Princess is here. Good day, Allison. Good to have you. Let's move along. I got more slides. Let's take a look. Speaking of convention exclusives, that I'm gonna try to get. This is the Operation Monster Force Demi-Warg Infiltrator. So last year they did sort of a human army builder that was an exclusive. But it wasn't because it was an exclusive, but now you could just sort of order it. The only difference is that you got a pin if you ordered at a convention. That's cool. I don't really care. Everybody can do what they want, but making it hard to get and then making it easy to get is just kind of weird. But I added one to my special order list, my pre-order list on Big Bad Toy Store. I got the pin to prove it, so I'm excited. This one also looks really, really cool. Now, this one, they're noting that it has early bird convention pre-order price. I don't know if the price is going to go up if you don't pre-order at a convention. It's also, in this case, actually showing that there are accessories that are exclusive to the, to the con version. So you're getting that exclusive head sculpt and an exclusive weapon, which I think is very, very cool. The loadout for this guy, and just like this is a great one. This one, I might get two of. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to army build it, but I think this checks a lot of boxes for me personally. Plus, you get a pin. You get the official Demi-Warg Blood Wolves pin if you order it at the convention. I'm going to see these guys at multiple conventions, so I'm definitely going to be adding this to my pre-order list. Let's see. Endless Fables is here. Says, I'm here in the shadows, been watching, making some dios. I really like the Demi-Warg. Yeah, me too. It's cool, man. I've said this before. I really lean way more into the Monster Force monsters than I do like the soldiers and stuff like that. So this sort of checks all the boxes for me. Josh Brown says, scaring me about Space Zombies future exclusives. No. This is the thing. If you've been paying attention to what I've said about exclusives and how I feel about exclusives, you'll probably be fine. I just think that, calling something an exclusive and then sort of making it available to the masses in vast quantities is odd. So we have some strategies that we're going to have for our exclusives, and we're going to do, well, I'll talk about that more when I talk more about Space Zombies from Mars, which won't be today. It'll be a totally other day. Ryan Clark says, me too. You guys will be fine. You'll be fine. Josh Brown, I completely forgot to order the Monster Force exclusive at Legions Con last year. Yeah, I actually ordered mine way back at Joe Fest. So they had them at Joe Fest, and then at San Diego Comic-Con I ordered my Tick. And then did they have Bulletproof then, or was that a wide release? Anyway, I got a bunch of stuff coming from them at some point. Okay, so that is the Demiwarg. Now, if you're going to be at ZoloCon, the Black Watch Shadow Wraith will be a con exclusive figure. This is limit 1 per day. What I've seen from these exclusives when they do these like one con only exclusives is that these sell out really, really quickly. And then when they do offer them on Big Bad Toy Store, they tend to sell out quickly there as well. So I've already given Jason the task of picking one of these up for me. But I know he's gonna forget, so I'm gonna have to reach out to the Big Bad Workshop guys and see if I can pull some strings, because this I'm very, very excited about. I love translucent stuff, and I love, the idea of like a ghostly kind of spectral soldier. This guy can, this guy plus this, like, I feel like this kind of thing fits into what I'm kind of looking at Mezco, and what I like with Monster Force, like just the very ghostly kind of horror monster type thing. The two kind of humanish heads I'm less excited about, but this like goblin-y demon type head, I'm pumped on. I think it's all reuse. I think it's all parts reuse, but it's done differently. It's done in this translucent plastic, so I'm excited. Okay, we'll move on to that in a sec. Why don't we go back to this and do this? And I should write this down probably so that I don't forget. All right. So what is this? I'll write it on this because I don't need this. All right. So as I said, get your entry in for this. What am I drawing for? I'm drawing for a G.I. Joe classified figure. Which classified figure, you ask? Well, I will give the winner an option. You will have the option of choosing from a few different figures. I'm not promising that they're that exciting, but you'll get a free action figure nonetheless. So that's that. Like I said, I will. If you win, reach out to me, and I'll sort of give you a list of figures that you can choose from, and we'll go from there. Sound good? Great. I'll give people a couple more minutes because I know that there's people that sort of came in after the fact and might not have had a chance to enter. I'll just take a look at a couple more comments here. Brian Brink said ZoloCon will be my Four Horsemen first show of the year, and they have a new show figure of 2026, like the Barbarian they had last year. Have they said what it's gonna be? I was trying to find that, but I don't think I have seen that yet. But I'm curious to see what it's gonna be. Ray Paz, did you get the clear translucent eraser figure? That was an exclusive too. Wish they wouldn't make that. I did. I actually have the clear, the smoke, and the purple. That's how much I like that character. Mr. Backtastic says congratulations. Good to have you, David. Good to see you. Mod Extra GC. Hey, what is it you are using to grab the hashtag from the chat like that? It's in StreamYard. So this is like a StreamYard function. So if you're using StreamYard, it's super, super easy. If you're not using StreamYard, I think you'd have to find another tool. Though there's a spinning wheel one that works really, really well. That I would have to look. Anyway, reach out to me. I can sort of point you in the right direction. Mr. Ryan Clark says they haven't announced the touring figure yet. I recall the legendary Barbarian being announced when it first hit the show floor. Yeah, okay. Brian Carr says 4-H is not announced if there is a touring figure, but it is expected. Some think that it might be a female Barbarian. Cool. I'd buy that. Josh Brown says they are just re-releasing the past translucent exclusives now under a new Monster Force subline. That is kind of strange. Yeah. The Dark Directives now has both of the first two, the Forgotten King and the Dracula, being released under that line. That's cool. I don't use StreamYard. That's why I don't recognize it. There is like I said, there's a spinning wheel thing, and I'd have to look it up because I used to use it. And it works, it kind of works similarly, but depending on what platform you're using, it might not interface properly. I don't know. That's a tough one then. Okay. Should we draw? Let's draw. And then we can move on to posting the second one, and I can get through the rest of my slides, and I can let you guys get on with your lives. Ray Paz, I don't know if they're all up on Big Bad Toy Store yet, but Big Bad Toy Store has the Monster Force Dark Directives line, and the Translucent Forgotten King and the Translucent Dracula are in that line. I don't know if they've been put up for promo or solicitation yet or what, because I don't actually want those figures, so I didn't order them. Good thing YouTube reminded me that I'm a moderator. I don't think my wife's ever blocked anybody or deleted any, maybe once, jokingly. I can't remember now. Yeah, Josh Brown says pre-order might have sold out. Ray says I'll check. Josh says never mind, they're up. Good luck, Ray. Good luck getting your stuff. Okay, let's draw, and then I can sort of not pay attention to this for a few more minutes. Beep boop beep boop 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 boop. Ray Paz. Ray, message me. I will. I've written your name down, but message me and I'll give you a list of figures in that are sort of available to you to choose from. Bear with me for a brief moment. I'm just going to set up this again. And I will do this. Let me edit this. There we go. I'll switch back to this. So we're doing it all again. Comment hashtag AWOK, hashtag AWOK, and it'll be winner's choice for an AWOK figure. If you're in Canada, I'll probably ship one. I've got a stack that I'll ship from here. If you're in the US, I might just ship one from the store. But like I said, I'll make sure that you get one that you like. And yeah, we'll go from there. This I'm going to leave till pretty much the end of the show, and then right at the end, if I don't remember, please remind me that I have to do the draw. Ray Pass, can I do an AWOK figure instead? Sure. Yes. Yeah, message me. That's fine. We can pivot. Let's see. White Mike Vegeta says Dracula was up and it's already gone. I would say it's one of those things where, stay tuned, because I think they might sort of repost them. You might see them pop up again. Big Bad Toy Store has a habit of kind of putting up their pre-orders in a limited number and then knowing that they're going to have more and then sort of releasing them. So you might still have a chance if you missed it. But anyway. Okay, let's move on from the Big Bad Workshop to Mezco. Picked up this guy. He is fantastic. How fantastic? Well, you'll have to watch the video. Little update. If you watch the video, the necklace for mine broke, but I did manage to fix it. I've been having so much fun with this figure. It's like I'm kind of kicking myself for not sort of getting into Mezco a little bit sooner. In some respects. In other respects, primarily financial, I'm not kicking myself. This is definitely a line where I'll get a couple figures, but I'm not going like crazy on these. It's they're fantastic, but the other thing is, they're not toys in the same way. They're a little more fragile, and that just doesn't always work for me. But just I've had 2 deliveries from Mezco, and I've got the exact same 2. Now, for anybody that is watching, either live or in the replay, do these sort of come in like time frames? Like in 6 months, will you get a different one, or is it supposed to be random? Is it supposed to be like blind bag? Is it is it weird that I got 2 that are the same, or is that common depending on when you get them? I was kind of bummed to get 2 of the same. I'll be totally honest. And for anybody that sort of doesn't collect Mezco directly from Mezco, I guess, because I don't know that you'd get these from a retailer. When Mezco ships to you, they include these little blind bags. Actually, I have the little bag. It comes like this. It comes in this little foil bag, and these are just Mezco Mezits. And yeah, I got two of these, 2 of the same. I want more of them though. Let's see. Mod Extra GC, I'll have a go on this one. If you think the shipping will be all right, I don't own any AWOC figures. Would be fun to give one a try for the first time. Yeah, reach out, man. I can arrange that. Like I'm happy to get you one. You got a good audience, you got a good crowd, and I think I'd be happy to get one for you. If you want to do a video on it. Spaded One McDysentery says Rumble Society doesn't mess around. Stoked you're having fun with Senior Blanco. I'm having fun with Senior Blanco. I'm having fun with the holiday edition Doc Nocturnal and Krampus. I'm having fun with the Hawk P40. I will be having fun with more figures in the future. Ray Pat says, I did watch that video on how you said you used to dress as a 1970s spy. No, that was okay. I'll go off on a little bit of a tangent on that one because why not? We're here. Talking about me. It's all about me. When I was younger, when I was like when I was sort of out of high school and sort of into college, not knowing really what I wanted to do, did a couple years of university and then did a couple years of nothing. I traveled and just sort of got into things. Like I just sort of so I was I've always been really, really into music all through my childhood, well into high school and all that kind of stuff. The weird thing is a lot of people have like really close friend groups, and all those friend groups sort of listen to the same music. Now, I've said this before, and this is, again, sort of just reiterating that point, but I'm quite introverted. I'm quite independent and happy to be by myself and happy to kind of do my own thing and not really care to some extent what other people think or what other people are doing. I'm not easily influenced by other people. So I got into music in a very organic way, and that I would hear things on the radio, I would hear things that my parents played, I remember I have vivid memories of like hearing a song at the public swimming pool and just being like, what is this? And just listening to everything and sort of deciding what I liked. And I found in my like early like late teens, like late teens, kind of 17, 18, 19, into my early 20s, I really got into British rock music. Specifically sort of around the time that the Strokes came out. There was the Strokes came out when a lot of bands were coming out of the UK that were very, very similar, or sort of had the same um the same sort of influences, I guess, maybe. But then their spin was that they had, a little bit more influence from like the Beatles, and so there's sort of a whole bunch of music that English folks and British folks certainly know that the North American audience might never have even heard of. I mean, they're big enough bands that people have heard of them, but I really, really got into sort of British music. And then by extension, I ended up getting into fashion very, very heavily, to the point where I applied to go to a fashion design school, and was gonna be a clothing designer at one point. And then actually I went on a trip to Europe to sort of meet some fashion people, and decided I didn't want to work in that industry, and so I didn't go to school for that, and I kind of just you know went in a different direction. But needless to say, okay, long story short, I have a closet full of suits, ties, dress shoes. I really, really like being well dressed, which I am not anymore. I got 3 kids, I'm too busy, the kids are dirty, everything's just messy. So yeah, I just don't do it anymore, but I'm not kidding. Like, I still have that outfit. You know what I mean? Like, that Señor Blanco outfit, I have every piece to go along with that outfit. I don't have the gold necklace, but other than that, yeah. So that was 10 minutes that I went off on that. Blind bag for the Mezits. Trade it with someone that needs this one. That would be great, but being where I am, geographically, that's not as easy as it sounds. Oh, Mr. Wonderful is here. Oh, thank you, Trav, for showing up an hour and 10 minutes into the show. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Let's see. No, I know. I didn't get that impression at all. But I would genuinely like to get one out to you. So get in touch with me and we'll make that happen. The P code in the briefcase. Yeah, I literally have okay, honestly, and I totally forgot this once I posted the video. I sort of held it up. I held that briefcase thing up in the shot, and I was gonna cut to a clip of my bag and then cut back, but I forgot to do it, because it's literally exactly that bag. British rock from 2000s. Now we're definitely in my area of expertise. Who were you listening to? So it all kicked off with the Libertines, and anything that's sort of adjacent to the Libertines or sort of tangential to the Libertines. And you could list 20 bands that encompasses, and I probably listen to all of those, and still do. I still do. And every once in a while I'm reminded that one of them hasn't been a band for like 20 years, and I'm like, oh, has it been that long? But I actually, again, just to go down this rabbit hole a little bit, I went on a trip to London specifically to go to shows in that era, and and two of the best shows I ever saw. I saw the Casals at Nambucca, and I saw Paddington's at Coco, and those were, I don't think I'll go to shows that are better than those ever in my life. Just the where I was at in my life and just sort of the experience. And I went on those trips solo, and I sort of met friends and made friends um, as a result of that. But um, yeah, and then in a weird aside, um, when I was on that trip, sort of going to see these bands, I saw Eight Legs at a tiny, tiny club in a basement, and I couldn't find. This is not the aside. I just thought of this one too. I saw a band called Eight Legs in a bar that was like in a weird basement. And if anybody that's been to London and sort of been to some of these gigs, some of these little bars are in weird places. I couldn't find the front door, but I found a back door that I thought was the right place, and I followed some people roughly my age in. And when I got downstairs, I realized that they were one of the bands, and so I just got into the show for free through the back door. And I did, but it was the weirdest. It was weird, but it was an experience, man. It was a story, and it was a ton of fun. Just living my life those days. The aside was, while I was on that trip, coincided with one of the times that Pete Doherty got out of jail and played a show at Coco, but it was announced like on the day. And this was really early in social media, and I was, not in a country that I was from. So my access to social media in that moment wasn't great. And I found out about it the day after, so I didn't get to go. But anyway, um, Endless Fables. If I win the AWOC figure giveaway, can I get an AWOC figure I don't have? I don't think so, because there aren't any that you don't have. Ray Paz says, I love Radiohead. I love Radiohead as well. That's yeah, yeah, anyway. I'm not that interesting. Mr. Ryan Clark says, I have a closet full of dress clothes that I hope to fit into again someday. I was the best dressed employee at my comic shop back in that day. Yeah, that was the thing. I used to wear suits like to university. I don't think I ever wore suits to work. I was well dressed at work where we had to wear a button up shirt. Like I had very nice button up shirts and very nice pants, trousers, for those of you in the UK watching. But yeah, I never had to wear them for work, which I was always sort of disappointed in the end. I never needed them for work, which made it, in my mind, it made it all the more subjective, and it made it all, or subjective, subversive, and all the more sort of cool. Being really, really well dressed when you don't need to be is I think I think it's really cool. But not everybody's gonna agree. That's fine. Let's see. I saw Carl Barrett play a really small, intimate acoustic gig once in a tiny music bar here in Manchester. Carl Barrett is awesome. But he to me was he was like the Paul McCartney of the Libertines. Make of that what you will. Haven't heard anyone mention the Paddingtons in years. Man, the Paddingtons were I think they put out like 2 albums and 2 EPs or something like that, but I love that band in the minute. Payne's Toy Samples, thank you so much. Those are the best types of shows. Small venues are the way to go. Yeah, they really were. Nambucca is also quite a small club. Very, very intimate show. And also the bands at that time were small enough that I actually chatted with them for a minute after the show and stuff. It's different times. Oh man, Allison, you have no idea how like relevant that feels right now. Allison said, so basically this is how you ended up in our universe from your old universe, the wrong door in London, and here you are. You know what? I just watched an episode of Doctor Who, like from I just watched actually the last year's Christmas special, which involves doors and the wrong doors and sort of doors that are locked. And I picked up the Mezco Senior Blanco that comes with like a portal. So that's yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe there's another alternate universe where I'm still wearing a suit, and still in London. Um, I wonder if those Mezits helmets would fit on any other figure. I don't know. Yeah, before I had kids, I had sort of, if the Libertines had gotten back together and started playing again, I was going to try to make a pilgrimage to England to see them play. Now it's just not that easy. So now that's probably not going to happen. At least not until like I'm like 50 and they're in their 50s. Ryan Clark, I used to wear ties so much that people would think I was an employee or manager of whatever store I was in. I don't work here. I'm just wearing a tie. Yeah, why not, right? You look respectable. And then that's the subversive thing. I was like a dirt bag. I kind of still am a dirt bag. And so being really dressed up, knowing that I have a bunch of tattoos and that I listen to the music that I listen to and have the bad habits that I know that I have. It was like, it felt kind of like a punk rock type thing. But anyway, let's move on. 112 day happened. For anybody that doesn't know, Mezco 112 is a line. So on January 12th, they have 112 day. I'll get to that slide next. I gotta burn through this stuff because I want to wrap things up so you guys can still get over to check out Brick. They released a Dark Shadow edition of Doc Nocturnal, and as much as I wanted this figure, I realized that I probably want the other version more. So I passed on this. This is basically just like a blackout version of Doc Nocturnal. This was available, I think, at ToyCon New York or some convention last year. And it was just sort of a re-release. They also released the Decapod Gang Crab Louie Capo edition. So this is like probably the appropriate version of Crab Louie for the line. So Crab Louie is like the leader, the boss of the Decapod Gang. And so this is him looking like a boss. The other version of him, for anybody that isn't familiar with Crab Louie, he looks like a fisherman. Not very gangster boss, but there he is. I passed on this one too because he's wearing white pants and he doesn't come with a jacket. And I was like, from a fashion perspective, I can't go along with this. I couldn't support Crab Louie not coming with his full suit. If he's the boss, he should have a full suit. But anyway, I did, however, go for this. Decapod Gang Radioactive Racketeers. So this is a glow-in-the-dark pair of crustacean gangsters. You get two gangsters suited up, double-breasted suits, I might add, ties, dress shoes, the whole nine. So this sort of fits into my aesthetic. I'm coming back around. My collecting habits in 2026 are, it has to look like something that I wore in like 2006. Maybe that'll be my like rule. But anyways, these are really rad. Also comes with a little prawn, a little what's he called? What's that kind of prawn? The crazy kind. Mantis shrimp. A little mantis shrimp, Fredo the mantis shrimp. But there's the figures. You get alternate sort of mouthpieces. You get alternate tons of alternate hands. You get an alternate head that's like cracked open. and then a whole bunch of accessories that can be shared among your other Mezco figures, some blast effects, and they come with coats. So, you know, not only do they come with suits, but they actually come with an overcoat. So there you go. Very, very excited for these guys. And then, because that wasn't enough, and they sort of haven't gotten me enough, Mezco Toy Fair 2026 coming up February 14th and 15th. And there's a lot of speculation that we may get a Gomez. And I am hoping we do, but I'm of two minds. I'm hoping that it's a Gomez that I don't want because it doesn't really fit into what I'm buying. But I hope that it's a Gomez that does fit because I would really like to get a Gomez. I don't have a Gomez yet, and I really, really want a Gomez. So anyway, let's see. Yeah. Josh Brown says 112 day where Mezco gets to bone you in shipping 4 times. Yeah, man, it's bad for the US. It's even worse for Canada. Shipping's twice as much, and then you got to like prepay the duties and stuff like that. And I will say this, as somebody that ships things internationally and as somebody that you know knows what things cost to ship, Mezco shipping and handling or whatever is an absolute racket. Like they are pocketing so what do they charge? What does Mezco charge an American account to ship a figure? It's like $25 or something, right? Feel free to let me know very quickly in the chat and I'll sort of circle back to the comment. So you're paying like $25 or whatever for one figure. I know what we pay and what we charge for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom or something like that is like half of that. And you know, on top of that, you know, we're not trying to make money off the shipping. Plastic Platorium says, I hear their shipping services are atrocious. Well, then they're doing it wrong. Like that's the thing is that like I don't know. Like it is what it is, and I just sort of look at it like, okay, that's how much you pay for the figure, but it's not that much because you're paying this much for, you know, your shipping and your handling and all that kind of stuff on top of it. So it just kind of makes it even worse, right? Um, I personally, I kind of feel like they're misrepresenting the cost of their figures. You know, they're sort of setting their pricing a little bit lower and then sort of making more money through their shipping, which to me it's I don't like it. It's icky. Um, but what are you gonna do? Mr. Ryan Clark says, "Is it a difference of USPS versus a courier like FedEx?" Um, I don't know. So they ship. I think they almost always do FedEx. Now, in my experience, there's no sort of one company that's cheaper than the rest. Typically, when you make an agreement with one of them, though, your rates should be lower. So if all of their shipping is FedEx, they should be getting like a very discounted rate. That's typically the way that it works. Um, you know, most companies, whether it's Spiro Toys or the Four Horsemen or Hasbro, Pulse, or whoever, most companies are sort of like getting deals based on volume. So we're paying less than you know, the average person. So like for example, if Josh Brown has to ship something out, he might be in that weird pocket where he can get sort of a small business discount. Whereas if somebody's like, you know, oh, I got a figure, it's extra, and I got to ship it out to somebody, they're paying sort of the full price for shipping or whatever. But companies that are doing a lot of shipping typically would get a discount, and their pricing is like way higher than what a person would just pay. Like maybe Mezco's walking into the FedEx store and being like, I'd like to ship this, please. Maybe that, like, I don't know. It's crazy. Their pricing is brutal. Anyway, it is what it is. If you want the figures, you order them. Whatever. Um, Spaded one McDysentery. I got lucky and none of the 112-day stuff appealed to me. Spaded one says my Mezco money is too tied up in their upcoming TMNT and Marvel stuff, and I'm not getting that stuff. I'm not getting Marvel. I'm not getting TMNT. I'm not getting the Batman. As much as I love that Mezco Year One Batman, yeah. Gady's Toy says that's how I want to look in the office, crab face and all. That figure is loaded. Yeah, I think the Decapod Gang one, I think is what you're referring to, is loaded. Tons of fun stuff, tons of cool stuff. Larry's Geeky World. I finally picked up the Mezco Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Deluxe box set yesterday from a local toy shop for $350. I think that's a good price, isn't it? You get 5 figures in there plus the accessories, I think. Is that around retail price? Is that what Mezco sold it for? I think that's good. Yeah, and they definitely don't combine shipping, so you can't order one and be like, "Oh, can you just put these orders together?" And it's nope. You can cancel your order, but it's already sold out. Spaded one McDysentery. I read that tease a bit different. Boombox is retro, upside down, this side up sticker, upside down Stranger Things. I hope so, because I could pass on that. I could easily pass on Stranger Things. Josh Brown says, I'm trying to boycott them because of their shade, but I can't quit all the way. Their customer service is not good. That's what I've heard too. Mezco shipping is wild. I think you mean not Mexico. Mezco shipping is wild. Never order a non-exclusive direct from them. Yeah, exactly. It's okay. So just looking at an example, they've got their Batman Year One figure. It's $116 to pre-order on Mezco. You have to pay a deposit, and then when it ships, you will pay the $30 to get that one figure. Or for $116, you can go on Big Bad Toy Store and pre-order it and just put it in your pile of loot. And when it arrives, pay $4 to ship it to you and get 3 other things shipped at the same time. If you're in Canada, you can go on ecollectibles.ca. You can pre-order your Batman now and not even pay shipping in Canada because you're over the threshold for free shipping. But some things are exclusives and some things, they go, well, if you want it, this is what you pay. It sucks. And Josh Brown says, I shouldn't be able to ship something across the country for less than half of what Mezco does. No, you should not. That's an accurate statement, but let's see. Yeah, Mr. Ryan Clark being in Canada. Whenever I order from Four Horsemen, I basically expect the figure price to be doubled after shipping, exchange rate, and duties. Yep, that's being a collector in Canada. Mr. Ryan Clark, if you're not getting Mythic Legion stuff from eCollectibles, you should be. That's going to be your cheapest way to get them. You're being crazy. That Batman Year One is incredible. Yeah, I mean it is. I do want it, but I've kind of decided that I'm not like I gotta cap it, right? I can't do Batman. I can't do Batman, I can't do DC. In other slides that I have. Whoa, what was that? Why do I have a blank slide? Nope. Hold on a second. Let me pull this down. I gotta figure out what's going on with my slides here. It looks like some of them got deleted. Oh, never mind. I know what happened. I know what happened. One more thing to talk about, and then we'll wrap things up. In other news, when I say I'm not doing DC stuff, Gong Studios. Now, if you're not familiar with Gong Studios, I don't blame you. But you may be familiar with something that the Gong Studio parent company does make. Gong Studio is sort of owned by Pop Mart. Pop Mart makes Labubu. And if you don't know what Labubu is, you've been living under a rock. Anyway, they've solicited a Hush Batman, or sorry, they've solicited a a Batman Hush Superman to go along with the Batman Hush Batman that was very recently released. And this figure looks amazing, just like the Batman did. People are raving about that Batman. I think it looks fantastic, but I also think I have issues with both of these figures. This is the Batman. It looks fantastic. Cape is amazing. Sculpting is awesome. Just the proportions and the head sculpt and like everything looks very nice. And I've been so close to pulling the trigger on this, but I don't buy Batmans, and I'm not going to start now. But going back to the Superman, this has issues. The soft goods on this look awesome. The proportions look great, but if I can draw your attention to this weird ridge in his leg, and I can draw your attention to this weird sort of ridge on his arm, and I can draw your attention to this weird ridge in the diaphragm, you can see all the articulation through the soft goods. And to me, if you've got these soft goods, head to toe soft goods, it should be so that there's sort of a streamless look, so that you're kind of looking at so that you're looking at something that doesn't look like an action figure, right? You want it to not have cuts in the sculpt, but you can clearly see them there. Now they are covered up, and some might argue like, well, it's, it is what it is. But when you look at that Mezco Batman, I don't see any articulation cuts there. So it's just sort of different. This looks phenomenal. I just wanted to sort of point out that this is up. This is available for anybody that did the Batman. For anybody that missed the Batman, I also wanted to say that Batman is available on eCollectibles, so you can still get it there at a very good price. And yeah, and then you can get your Superman as well if you're so inclined. All right. That's pretty much all I got. Let me just check back into the comments. What time is it? 3:38. We don't have much time. We don't have any more time. If you have a burning question that you want to ask me, feel free to fire it in the comments right now while I'm catching up on comments. But we're going to wrap up in a few minutes here so that you guys can jump over to the Brick Something channel. He's going to be hanging out with Yimbo today. And then Yimbo's going to be on, and Brick's going to be hanging out with Yimbo, or they're just going to be hanging out for that whole time. I don't know. So yes, the Batman Year One is incredible. It looks incredible. I would love to own it, but I gotta pass. Yeah, so you got it for below retail. That's awesome, fantastic. Some of this stuff sells out so quick here in the UK with limited stock coming to these shores. So so you then look at importing and just bow out the minute you see the shipping costs. Yeah. Yep. Spaded one McDysentery. Yeah, I'd pass on Stranger Things too. I'm just looking for excuses to not spend money. Yes. I 100%. Plastic Platorium. Any updates on Zombies from Mars? Not today. We'll do a more in-depth, like I'll do an episode of like what's going on with space zombies in the near future, for everybody that's curious. Larry says I pre-ordered that Superman a couple days ago, can't wait for him to ship. Larry, did you get the Batman as well? They look amazing, they look fantastic, but I think it's sort of one of those things where I just can't collect everything. Let's see. I really wish that the swivel wasn't so dang obvious. Yeah. Ray Pass, I think the face is off too. The Superman face. I don't know. I don't know the source material very well. That Mezco Hush, that Mezco Batman Hush Superman had a great face sculpt. But I like I said, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Hey, what's going on, Kirby? Congrats on 1,000. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Do not draw attention to those. I haven't forgotten. Don't worry. I still got my screen open. Yes, I did get the Batman. He is awesome. That's, like I said, I've heard that from everybody. Quick zombie question: does the helmet swivel on its mount? If you mean the astronaut helmet, the helmet will be like keyed in, so there'll be like a little notch so that it shouldn't swivel, if that makes sense. Like it won't, you won't be able to have the mask on the back, I don't think. Would you want that? Or why would you want that? I guess maybe is a better question. No, it should be sort of fixed in there. Any other questions? Nothing. We went over lots of fun stuff today. Very little of it was toy related. What's Red 5? I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's your fight, Batman? You're gonna have to rephrase that question because I don't want to get it wrong. I have customs in mind. I'm setting my expectations. That's fair. House of Pando getting in right under the wire there. Red 5, what's your favorite Batman? My favorite Batman figure or like version of Batman? Like that's, so the thing is, this will be my last tangent for the day, then I'll do the draw. The thing is, I don't have, let me rephrase that. I only have one Batman figure. It was gifted to me this holiday season, and it is a Mattel Batman, I believe. Now, the reason that I don't have any more than one Batman figure is because I can't collect everything. And if you go down the Batman rabbit hole, you got to get Batman, you got to get Robin, you got to get Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, Catwoman, Alfred, probably, Bane, Nightfall. At least me personally, I got to get all these. Riddler, Poison Ivy, on and on and on and on. There's so many characters that would go along with that. You'd have to get a Superman. And then once you have Batman and you have Superman, you may as well get a Green Lantern. You may as well get an Aquaman. You like, I appreciate DC. I always sort of jokingly talk about how I don't like DC. The truth is, DC's got a great stable of characters. I'm staying well clear of it for as long as I possibly can. The DC universe is so intertwined that you can't just be like, oh, I'm just getting, well, you could. I know that there's people that probably just collect Batman figures. They don't even have a Robin in their collection. That's cool. That's not how I collect. If I collect, I got to get a shelf worth of characters. I got to get, good guys and bad guys. I got to get, the sidekick. I got to get I got to get all of it. And I'm happy with one. I'm happy with a Batman figure. But I know that having one Batman figure, as I said, I would need one Superman figure. And if I have those, I would need one Green Lantern, and I would need one. And you can't collect everything. So I don't try. But if you're asking what my favorite, yeah, rephrase that one again, because what's my favorite version of Batman or like appearance of Batman? I don't know. As a kid, I loved Batman. When I was, when I was a young man, when I was, in what would have been like 8 through 18, buying comic books every week. I used to buy tons of Batman. I don't anymore. I don't buy them now. Like once I've sort of gone back to comics, I haven't gone back to DC much. I buy the odd miniseries or sort of limited run. There was the Morrison's Green Lantern that went 2 seasons was good. The Green Lantern with a female Green Lantern on a weird planet was a short little run of like 8 or 10 or 12 issues was really, really good. There was a Superman run where he was like lost on a planet and he had to find his way home and he was gone for 30 years, but they only thought he was gone for 3 days or something. Was fun and different. And I liked it because it was self-contained. So like I'll buy little series, but I'm just not, I don't have the patience for DC. I don't have the pockets for DC. And Allison Troy says you need one definitive version of every character. Yeah, and then you look at, okay, well, what line has all of them? Which one would I want? So I don't know. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I did that with Marvel, and I have way too many Marvel figures. I have one Batman figure, Muff Kryptonite Seeker. So much different than all the other Batman designs. That's fair. That Gotham by Gaslight Mezco one looks really, really good. I love the idea of Gotham by Gaslight. I love the idea of the like samurai Batman. My probably the peak of my fandom for Batman was like the sort of Nightfall era. So that's probably my favorite. But that was my favorite when I was, you know, when did that come out? 90, 95, 96, like around there. So I was like, 12, 13, 14 years old, somewhere around there. So it's like my tastes are very different now. Now I like Batman Year One. Now I like Batman Returns. Now I like Killing Joke. Actually, I loved Killing Joke then. I actually have a first printing Killing Joke. Yeah, I love Batman. I just don't collect the figures. All right. Hopefully you guys are bored enough that I can just end this. Ray Paz. Yeah, that's an Elseworlds Batman. Can you imagine how many Batman you'd end up having? Yeah. I used to love Elseworlds too. There was an Elseworlds that I vaguely remember that had like a Superman, but he was like in a primitive, prehistoric kind of caveman type Superman. So good. The Long Halloween. Okay, I've never actually read The Long Halloween, but I know that I need to. One day. They're out there. You can still buy them. That's kind of the beauty of those stories. You can still buy them. Anyways, let's do this draw and let's get on with our lives, shall we? Who's it going to be? 21 entries. If you have not entered yet, I will give you 5 seconds. You got 5 seconds before I draw. And there's a delay, so it really is more than 5 seconds that I have to wait. But anyway, I will just say this before I draw. It has been an absolute pleasure doing this. It's truly I'm shocked that I got to 1,000 subscribers. I did not think I would get there. If you go far enough back, the video, around the time that I hit 100 subscribers, you'll know that was what I was excited about then. So 1,000 is it's bonkers. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Mr. Wonderful got his entry in, so we can pull the trigger on the draw here. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I will never not appreciate the support and the interaction and having you guys in the chat, and anybody that watches the replay, the likes, the comments, any of that is amazing, and I really, really do appreciate it. So let's do this draw. Who's gonna get a monkey or cat or something else? Seth! Amateur Hour 24.7. Reach out, message me, and I will get you a figure. Ray Paz, make sure that you message me as well. Anybody else that I said message me, make sure you message me. I'm only writing down the winners, so anybody else I will forget. I probably should have written this down before, but alas, here we are. All right. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. I'm way over time. But let's do this again soon, shall we? I will be back next Sunday. I can't remember if there's something scheduled for next Sunday or not. The following Sunday, I think it's the following Sunday, is Super Bowl Sunday. And if the Seahawks are in the Super Bowl, I will not be here. I'm telling you all that right now. If they lose next weekend, I might be here live. If they win next weekend, I won't be here. I'll be watching the Super Bowl. So on that note, thank you guys. As I said, always a pleasure. Always appreciate you guys, coming and hanging out and chatting, and enjoy your toys, enjoy what you collect. Don't let people tell you how to collect or what to collect or what to watch or who not to watch or whatever. Do your thing. Now go watch Brick and Yimbo.
Now that's a country song.
Bye, everybody.
Living and loving and driving fast cars. Whether I'm here or I'm on Mars, I'm gonna die young, baby, that I know. I'll leave a beautiful memory when I go. Well, I woke up this morning feeling pretty damn tired. I was up all night at a moonlight fire. There was beer, whiskey, beautiful girls, but you know can't afford no diamonds and pearls. So I told them I was famous for singing this song. I thought for a while I'd strung them along. One said, fellas, got a pretty good game. Tomorrow I won't even remember his name. Well, living and loving and driving fast cars. Whether I'm here or I'm on Mars, I'm gonna die young, baby, that I know. But I'll leave a beautiful memory when I go. I'll play that just like your daddy taught you.